Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the COP Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. And we do have an opposition preview for you guys today. Of course, that is a rarity on the channel. I do apologise for that. But of course, it is Manchester City against Liverpool. Of course, it is, or usually is, the biggest games of the season, considering, again, the title races that we have seen throughout the years. But of course, and fortunately, unfortunately, depending on where you are, of course, Manchester City are not in that contention. But we do have Luke from Not In My Lifetime podcast. Luke, thank you very much for coming on, mate. First of all, how are you? And are you enjoying the season?
Well, me personally, mate, I'm all right. I'm all good. The season, no, but I think the problem is, right, I knew there were issues even before the season started. I think the fact that the club didn't invest properly in the summer, brought back an old player back again, it just felt like it kind of stood still. And when you stand still, as we all know, when competing at a high level, you get found out. And this season, you've seen it. Tottenham battering us 4-0, United beating us 2-1 at our place. Like, we've completely lost, our fear factor. There's the one thing that everyone feared us about, like, coming to us or we going to you. Even at Anfield times, you felt, right, we're coming, big game, A game. But now it's like, you know what to expect of us now. And and that's what it is. Like, it's what it is this season now. I'm thinking I'm just happy to sort of just get on with it now and just, get top four if possibly can, get FA Cup, or that's still available to us. Just think that, get a trophy, end the season, get on to the summer and that and go again.
Would you criticize that to the players of Manchester City, or would you go more towards Pep and the way he, as kind of every manager has it, the arrogance of your own style and your own philosophy? Would you blame it more on players and the lack they've shown this season, or do you think that's more to do with Pep and the way he's, trying to get his way with the players tactically?
I think it's both, mate. I think Pep's been through a lot this season. Like, obviously, divorcing his wife, 30 years, and a lot of change. But I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, he's a terrible manager." He's clearly not. Any manager will struggle in a situation when you've got a lot of change going on in your life anyway, living on your own and that kind of stuff. So I'm never going to say sack him because that's like, come on, it's one bad season. Like, I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to blame him for certain things because you have to. You can't sort of say, "Oh, he's a what a blame." He's like made mistakes that have cost us in certain games. Like, Madrid are both getting both legs. Substitutes for the first leg let us down, and the second game didn't start De Bruyne, and just the whole team just looked way off it and what it should be. But I think he came out today, I think, in press and sort of said that some players haven't got it anymore. And he was quite brutal. I think this summer, I think 7 or 8 players are going to leave. It's going to be quite a big exodus this summer. I think a few players will be coming the other way. So, big summer for us, but the players as well, mate. I mean, Haaland's been brilliant. Haaland's in a crap team. So that's 30 odd goals in the season, which is unbelievable. I know Salah's had an incredible season, but if Haaland had a better team around him, right now that wasn't so inconsistent, he'd probably be on the same amount of goals or more goals by now. He's that kind of player, and the problem is, when you haven't got the team around you, doesn't matter how good you are, you just struggle. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is obviously older now, and the legs are starting to go, which is sad. I mean, the quality of the player is still there. The ball striking and the assisting is still there. But at this level, you can't really afford to not have pace and legs anymore. You've got to have legs still. If your legs start to go, then you can't play much anymore. And it'd be sad when he does go, because he's a legend of the Premier League, legend of the club, of European football in general. It'd be sad no matter. I'm sure we'll be saying, obviously, when Salah goes at some point in the future, if he signs a new deal, whatever. But them two have been the best two players in the Premier League era for the past 6-7 years. Like, at some point, even with Salah, at some point, his legs will go as well. It's just that some players are different. So it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of players have dropped form this year as well.
I think watching, like, especially City from afar, like, again, I've seen the odd City game now and again, but just watching them, it just seems like there's no fight there at times this season. And again, of course, that's expected when, again, you've won trebles, you've gone on and won, Premier League title after Premier League title. But certainly, watching the first 10, 15 minutes of that Madrid game, it was kind of you can understand what Pep was going to do defensively, but then up front, when you're talking about legs in the midfield and legs up top, there was just none of that there. And I think that obviously is due to Pep, but I also think, like you say, I think in terms of players not being able to do what they could do a season or 2 seasons ago, like De Bruyne, like Bernardo Silva, Gundogan as well, I do think, just judging from the outside in, it does seem like it is maybe, would you say the 2 years that Pep has signed for, do you think it is a bit of a rebuild? Of course, City, if they signed certain players in the summer, they would end up going on to, challenge, because again, they've already got the foundations there in Rodri, Haaland. But do you think the next 2 seasons is a rebuild to then go on again to push for trophies and titles?
It's going to be, because I think for me, right, I look at the rest of the league, right? I think, well, we're not that far off, because like we're fourth right now, probably third if Forest drop off and get third, but maybe second if Arsenal drop off as well. So let's say we get second if we put good reform together. And I think for you as well, I've watched Liverpool this season. Liverpool have obviously been the best team this season, but I wouldn't say it's blown me away. It's been enough to get results recently, which I think for you guys, you don't really care. You do it, you get a title win, you take what you can get, you move on. But obviously, you've seen better Liverpool teams under Klopp that have done better. That have done better at keeping results consistently and playing better football. But I think that sometimes you just got to just get the win and get it done. I think next season, I think obviously, in terms of contracts for you guys, obviously it's a bit up in the air. Obviously, still not obviously confirmed yet on. Well, Trent, I think will leave. I'm not saying. I think I've seen weird things happen in football, but the way it's going with that one, especially the Madrid rumours. I mean, I know obviously if he stays, fair enough, but I think
it's consistent every week.
yeah. But I think for you, obviously, you know yourself as watching it. I think it's still a lot up in the air right now, Liverpool, and also FSG and the investment stuff, which is a bit of a pain for Slot because he does backing, but you need owners that are going to back you a lot more than what FSG do. And Arsenal the same with Kroenke. But they're both of you done better than us this season. Facts, like we've been way off it. But in the window we signed 5 players. Obviously, one he's out on loan at Lons, but then 4 obviously who just come in to the squad. Now, obviously, long term I'll be here. Obviously, Marmoush is one of the best players in Europe right now in terms of current form and obviously what he's doing. Like the fact that you got Egypt's got 2 of the players involved right now in current form is quite mad for that country. But Marmoush is someone that's come in and done a good job. He hasn't. He only had one game where he got 3 goals, but he's in a team where it's just so up and down right now. He needs a consistent team around him. And I think next season you'll see the best of him. Next season when we've got the midfield, settled back line, a new keeper probably, because I think Ezra's out the door. It's a lot of change this summer. Is going to definitely you can see it. I reckon a lot of big rebuild, players out the door, players in the door. It's going to be quite a definite a change around next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I think just judging from the outside in, it does seem that case. But I think as well, you mentioned there in terms of, with Liverpool, with the title, for example, as well. I have this feeling that it will be City and Liverpool again for the next 5 years. Like, I know Arsenal's team, based on age, for example, is, again, probably better than Liverpool and City's. But I feel like in terms of managers, already Arne Slot's come in and created his own style. It's not too differently towards what we already had in Jurgen Klopp, but it's always it is an added element to what we already knew. Probably the element of what we needed probably to win games of football. I would agree with you with that. But I think, well, judging from, you spoke about us briefly, what's been your overall perspective of Liverpool this season from afar? Obviously, playing the game at Anfield, obviously we beat you 2-0, which at Anfield is a bit of a rarity these days. But obviously at the Etihad, I think we've only won. Our last win I think was back in 2015. Obviously in the Champions League, obviously we beat you away in the Champions League. But what's your thoughts on Liverpool's season and how Liverpool have been this season?
Do you know what? Right, Salah's impressed me. As always, been unbelievable. Love watching him play. But I think the issue for Liverpool is, I think if he got injured, with the attacking player, like Gakpo's done really well. Yotta's been obviously in and out of the team. Chiesa has been in and out of the team a lot less. Nunes has been very consistent. I think what you guys need long term is a better forward line, because I think Salah can only do so much for you guys. But I think even you can admit that as well.
Yeah,
that you've had the best player in the world probably on current form, carrying you. And there's no shame in that. I like Gravenberch and McAllister as well. They've been brilliant as well. But if Salah got injured, where are the goals going to come from consistently? And I think Arsenal injuries issues as well, but both of you have had less issues than what we've got. Forest are new to this. Then Forest are third somehow in February, almost March. I mean, fair play to them, but I never thought they'd get a league title this year. I thought they'd probably get fourth, fifth, maybe possibly if they can keep it up and that. But in terms of what I've seen from you guys, you played better than we have. Facts. I mean, that's obvious, but it hasn't been perfect. Definitely seen better Liverpool teams in the past with a lot more, a lot more less, together as a team. Obviously, focus more, but I think it's been you've done enough. I think recently to sort of get the results you need to get. Obviously, Villa away 2-2, and obviously 2-2 wasn't obviously perfect, but for you, it's about getting the wins. I think Slot's done that really well. He's got a team that's like, you know what, not too much pressure and pressing, but more about just getting the result and getting it over the line, which I think in previous Liverpool teams didn't do very often. You're doing it on the Slot, I think.
Yeah, I think more so. I think on the eye, I think Liverpool teams, I think in the past have been a lot faster. Like it has been a million miles an hour, I think at times. But I think now this Liverpool team, like again, it's not really Arne Slot's team. Like when we look at it, I know that obviously he's brought along Ryan Gravenberch this season, who for me, if it wasn't for Mo Salah, would be Liverpool's player of the season, because I think he's been unbelievable this year. But I think, as you said, I think for me, Mo Salah currently is the best player in the world, I think, as things stand. I think everyone has kind of had the same sort of opinion that Mo will, tire down. Like last season, people were saying he was done. Come into this season, I don't think anybody had Mo Salah in the conversations for being the best player in the world, or at least being the best player in the Premier League. And this season, he's taken, he's bettered his own level, really. I think this season, I think Liverpool do get a Premier League title out of it for me. But I think, Mo Salah, he writes himself in that conversation as potentially even the best ever. Of course, Thierry Henry, for me, is growing up, was the best ever. Of course, for you, it might be a bit different, but I feel like Mo Salah has to be in that conversation now, because he'll have 2 Premier League trophies, the same as Thierry Henry. He'll end up going to have 3 PFA Player of the Years, the goals, the assists. Like, he's got to be in that conversation, surely.
I'll be real with you as well, though. People don't like when I say this, but I think De Bruyne's in the conversation as well. 6 titles. Yeah. If it wasn't for Giggs playing that long, right, he probably have the most assists probably in the Premier League history. And I get people love Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes. I really do. But when your own legends are saying how good he is, I think at some point, I think look. For me personally, I've always been more of a Lampard, Gerrard person than I have been Scholes anyway, because Scholes is Scholes. But when I watched De Bruyne play, and I've watched him since the very start of his time, right, he's been consistently good, despite injuries throughout the time he's been playing. And yeah, he wasn't as long as those guys were. Fair enough, but I just think for me, when I've seen what he's done, I think obviously back-to-back Player of the Years as well, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, obviously that's a debate in itself for another day. That's a whole different debate. But I think
in a midfield 3, I think you probably have De Bruyne, Gerrard, and then you could pick Vieira or Keane or.
Yeah, but De Bruyne's in that team now. If you aren't putting him in now, I think it's more just he's not like us or sit or De Bruyne at that point. But I just think for me though, Salah's the best right winger in Premier League history for me, because you don't get that many goals, that many assists, right? Just by playing, just by being average or being an average team. Like, yeah, if it wasn't for us being so good over the years, you have more titles. You would, it's obvious, but that's because De Bruyne was so good as well. And obviously other players were good as well in that team. But yeah, what I've seen of Salah this season, I mean, he's been exceptional. I mean, I don't think he'll beat Haaland's record of goals. I think the goals won't. I don't think he'll quite get that. I reckon he'll get 31 goals probably this year. I can't see him getting 36, 37 goals. I think he'll need a hat-trick or 2 between now and April to sort of really push for that record. But I think assist-wise, assists. It's weird. Obviously, is he on 14 assists now? Or was it 15 assists?
I believe he's on 15 assists. I will double check though.
Well, the thing is, Kev should have that record by now, but obviously for some reason it gave one assist off. It's weird, right? The Premier League put one of Kevin De Bruyne's assists in 1920, a montage of assists, right? But that assist that you put in there didn't count as part of the record. Like, so you should really though. You should have 21 assists there, more than 3.
Yeah. So looking at it now, Mo's on
record.
24 goals and 15 assists.
Unbelievable.
This season.
Unbelievable.
I gotta agree with you though with Kevin De Bruyne. I think seasons like that though has taken out De Bruyne, like even now. Like I think obviously I think the treble winning season for yous, I think that destroyed Kevin De Bruyne for what we have seen of him. Last season
he came back from injury. He was really, really good. It's like got Newcastle, Real Madrid, obviously, and both games did very well. I think, you're right. I think he gave hamstrings that treble. Do you know what? Right, he was unbelievable though. Bayern, Madrid, he beat everyone. Like, if it wasn't for Haaland being so good, Messi a Ballon d'Or, which really for a World Cup penalties, I'm not having that. But the fact is, right, if Kev wasn't so unlucky with Champions League, he probably have a Ballon d'Or right now. As how good he's been, but Ballon d'Or's a hard one because it's about popularity. But to be fair, Rodri, with Rodri one, that's deserved because he actually did play well the Euros and won a league partners. The Junior got a Champions League, but it was average for Brazil. And look at the actual GNA he got. It wasn't really that good, really.
Mo Salah got more GNA than Vinny Junior, so exactly. I'm just gonna leave it there.
But also this season, our bad bit of Rodri, he showed he is. He's the best player, best DM. Obviously, we're playing in the World time, and it was fair enough. He proven it. He's been a great player, and I think Salah for me that I really hope right. Real Madrid, if they win the Champions League, you don't lap him. Mbappe gets Ballon d'Or. For me though, I think Salah's better than Mbappe because Mbappe's a good player, but that hat trick doesn't fool me. Because again, like, fair enough, it's a great hat. I'm not going to fault it. But I don't think he's the best in the world. Never have done. I think Salah, for me, has proven it a lot of a season. In the league, Champions League, the Cups, not so much, but it's the Cups. I mean, it is what it is. The EFL Cup and that, all right. But in Europe and the league, he's unbelievable. I think it would be a real shame if Salah didn't win it. Because look, I'm a Real fan, but I'm also a football guy. I love seeing good players do well. Now, obviously, you have to win the league and Champions League. Nothing's done yet. So, obviously, it's still February. We've got a long way to go before we decide who wins trophies. But as we both of us know, being tight run-ins and run-ins in Champions League, both of us know, nothing's done in February. You've got to prove it now, end of the season. Don't just do really well now. You've got to end it as well. And that's why De Bruyne and Salah did it as well over the years. They made sure they got to the was March, April. They got the goals, got the assists, and won the game. So you guys, and also your fan base as well, you guys know nothing is done yet. Arsenal fans are too arrogant and too over the top. Whereas you're like us, nothing is done yet. When we're in the race, lock in, get it done.
I feel like with us, it's more the case of like we've been in this rodeo before in terms of Liverpool and City and like going down to the last day on 95 and 94 points and then having to go on and fight it until right up to the last day. But I feel like there is that kind of I just feel like it is that mentality washed in with Liverpool. Like this is why. For me, I take it game by game. Of course, I do think Liverpool win the league, and I just have that self-belief. But even with a new manager, since he's come into the door, and I want to quickly ask you your thoughts on the slot, but ever since he's come into the door, it's felt like he's a winner. Like every single sentence you've said since coming into the football club, everything he has done while at the football club has indicated he's a winner. Like his first interview, the first thing he said was, "I want to get above 88 points that he got from Vinod last season." Like that for me was already winning mentality, and that's the difference I think from him and Mikel Arteta, who every excuse going. Referees, balls, whatever you could think about. But
Yeah.
what was your thoughts being on Arne Slot this season?
I love it. I love it, man. I watched final quite a lot before Liverpool, and he was a good manager then. And I knew Liverpool got. Yeah, he's pretty good. I thought he's not a big name, is he? He's not a big name. He's a Dutch manager, like Ten Hag, but Ten Hag was a poison chalice that shit anyway. So it's obvious
Yeah.
he was going to fail there. But
Why
Slot,
did he have to
look,
leave?
right? Well, Amarim's doing worse right now anyway. And he's like 15th from
Yeah,
16th, so
that is
better.
true.
But no, I mean, the reality for me, right, with Slot, right, I knew for him, right, coming into Liverpool, I thought, right, it's a big job. You know, after Klopp and what he's done, it's a massive job, right? And I think before seeing him thinking, right, just get top four, maybe get a trophy, then build from that. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's not what you want to be, but sometimes you got to start off a new era the right way with a trophy and a good position in the league and build on from that. But this season, what I've seen of him, he's done the right things. He's been a good manager. He's managed it really well. He hasn't been over the top. He hasn't sort of like got over the top of certain things. He's about referees, and I think you know what, just focus on the task at hand, get it done. And I think that's why he's the best manager in the league right now for me. I know obviously Pep's probably the best, obviously when he's on it himself, but I think we can all say of Pep this season, it's been a lot more than just football that's been going on in his life right now. Obviously, and and with City, is a multitude of errors that happen at the same time. And when that happens, you have to sort of think, right, it is what it is, get to the summer, rectify it, and go again from there. But for you guys, it's been, as well, despite only getting one player, is it one player? Is it in Chiesa? That's it? One player in?
One, technically two. Obviously, we brought in
Yeah.
Mamardashvili, yeah, but that's for next season. But yeah, Chiesa was the only one.
Now, Chiesa's been, well, okay.
He's been meh. Like, let's be honest, he has been meh for Liverpool.
The issue with Chiesa for me, right, is that at the Euros, he was unbelievable in 2021. Unbelievable. But the problem is, since going to Juventus, nothing. Because Juventus in a poison chalice a club now. It's very average. Only beat us 2-0, but if we were better than what we are now, we would beat Juve. Juve are average. PSV showed that on Wednesday. They beat him 3-1.
He was definitely an optimistic signing. It's
Yeah.
like if you 2 years ago valued at 100 million, like even 3 years ago, him and Dybala were destroying Syria and getting linked, £100 million moves, this, that, and the other. And it's like if you can show the quality that he kind of showed at Juve and Italy, then £10 million is an absolute steal. For a backup for Mo Salah, but backup for the left hand side as well. It makes total sense. But every time he has played for Liverpool this season, it does seem like he was never meant to be. If that makes sense, like he always feels like, it felt more of a Richard Hughes, our sporting director, signing more than an Arne Slot signing. If I'm being honest,
I think he's right. I mean, fine on how is it Jimenez who went to Milan.
Yeah.
Now Jimenez is a good player. I think it'll be good for you guys. He's a tall striker, holds the ball up pretty well, and score. Obviously, he's at AC Milan now, but AC Milan are very weird. Got some players, but I know they're a very young, very naive team. Milan. They watched them against Feyenoord, ironically, in the Champions League, and clearly a good player, but I think he's a bit overrated. He's a good player, but I've seen better from certain, big name, that kind of stuff, even high FIFA rating. But apart from that, I'm not really sort of sitting there thinking he's a world-like player. But I look at what Slot. I think Slot for me right by well. If Liverpool give him the money to spend going for, look, some players will obviously leave at some point. It's going to happen. Van Dijk will leave at some point. So will Salah. It's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years, probably, maximum. For being real,
yeah.
I think for you, like you got to trust Slot. You got to trust him. Like whoever you get after these guys, what match up? Like for us, right? Kevin De Bruyne leaves summer, right? As we get Verts in, now Verts is a phenomenal player, but even he will not live up to what Kev's done because De Bruyne's done things that a lot of players in the world, maybe there's ones like Messi in terms of assisting and creating chances and that. And sometimes you've got to sort of realise that whoever you get in won't live up to the hype straight away, but you got to trust him that it's going to be a new era for the club. So I think for you guys next year, it's a whole new era either way because some will leave at the free contracts anywhere. I can't see everyone.
Yeah, I think Van Dijk and Salah, I think will stay. I think Trent's the one that's going to go. If I'm being honest,
it's a shame, but it's obviously in Madrid. I mean, what did he got a good goal at Villa, but it's like well done. But it's like we can tell it's quite not. Why is if you wanted to be there, right? It's like sign new deals for players at our club, right? If you wanted to be here, why would you take this long to get it done? You know what I mean? I know it's a bit easy to say that, but sometimes if you're, it's like us trying to get obviously Haaland was done in January, like it was done, and obviously long-term contract. Obviously that was a massive time, but well, look at what Trent's doing, and like I think Salah, Van Dijk, they will give the money to them. Like you have to. Salah's proven enough now. I get his age obviously against him, but he's got 24 goals and 15 assists in a league season in February. I'm sorry, but like he isn't going to fall off face of the earth that quickly. He might drop a little bit next season, but he's worth giving the money to him now. Because bear in mind, the shirt sales already will do well already in Egypt and stuff. So I'm just going to say, I think for you guys long term, especially with Slot, and I've been really impressed with him, and I really do think he's a good manager for you guys. I think even if it's just on that, it's still League Cup as well, but that's a weird one, that cup final, because it could go either way. Newcastle, Liverpool. It's going to be a very interesting game. But I think for you, but the league though, if you get that done, minimum, it's still great. Because what it's 20 times, so you have to sit there and say you're fans, and I know we're way off ourselves, but I don't care about you guys right now. I'm thinking about my own success and getting more trophies for ourselves, like cups. So the fact that we sat there, angry at the fact that you've matched them will be fine to me. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, if we win the Premier League and the Champions League, I think that'll be quite funny for everyone. if that could be a possibility.
7 times. Well, look, we won it once. Nobody cares if you won it 6 times. For me, I just want to win it once first before we win any more than that. So yeah.
But no, go on.
Go on, mate. Go on.
No. I was going to say just like I think just judging from like obviously City's point of view, I think obviously this game, I think it's more important to us obviously for the title, but I think for yous, I think obviously top 4, top 5, I think obviously City I think will be pretty much guaranteed that, even though City have not been great this season. Again, I think that the top 4 as it is now, I think writes itself. I think Forest have got enough, I think, to stay in the Champions League spots. But I feel like that certainly if City do drop off a little bit, like as of right now, as recording this, I do think City will get top 4 by staying 4th. But I think even if you do drop off a little bit, you look at that the rest of that gap. You've got Chelsea in there, you've got Villa, Newcastle. Like that's Bournemouth. A horrible place to. But yeah, Bournemouth as well. That's a horrible like group of teams just behind you. That you look at it and go, you definitely don't want to get in that mix, because as soon as you do start getting in that mix, you could easily slip and be out of the Champions League. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. I think for us, mate, so I think if we win on Sunday, right, and for me, I care about I want to get 3rd off Forest. I want to get 3rd, yeah. So if we get 3rd, cool. 3rd, yes. Finish there, it's fine. But I want to get top 4 secured ASAP, really. So we've got a good gap on the rest of them. Like, cool, all right. Leagues, obviously, and I'd like to win every game now between now and the rest of the season, just to see where we finish. If it's 3rd or 2nd, awesome. I'm not expecting a late title run, because if you guys collapse that balance of Arsenal, I've got to wonder, like, if we won the league, I'm like, how have we won this league? I'll be thinking, how the hell we've got 5 in a row? I'm not celebrating that. Like, I was like, what are you doing, Liverpool?
I think as it is right now, I think it's 16 points, isn't it, between us?
Yeah. So obviously, if we win, it's 13, but which it's still. There needs to be a lot of losses for you guys to even consider. I mean, 2 or 3 more to even consider thinking maybe like no, because we got injuries. We're not quite there up here yet, and Pep's obviously not up here yet either himself. I mean, more the fact is if we were like not as good as we were last year, but we're still like 3rd and in the mix, I'll be all right. But as a seeing ourselves season, I don't really care about that anymore. Like, I just want to get top 4 secure. So we've got Champions League football to look forward to next year. To obviously go again in the groups and get top 8. next year and be way better than what we've been obviously getting. Like 22nd was appalling. And I think the fact that we even got that was lucky itself. I mean, PSG and Madrid weren't great either. Neither were Bayern, by the way. But PSG, PSG is you guys a actual game to watch because I mean, Dembele and Kvaratskhelia against you guys will be a fun watch. Not so about the back, but
I've got to watch Andy Robertson against Ousmane Dembele. Oh Jesus, that's going to be
and
fun.
Trent against Kvaratskhelia. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be good.
He's been there twice, and he's done well. The first time he played against him, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But the second time he did okay against him.
Yeah, but it's PSG Kvaratskhelia now, isn't it? It's a different kind of player. So
it's what I mean. Liverpool.
PSG and their mucks. So I'll say in terms of that game, but in terms of our game, if we win, I'll be happy more about the fact we got the win and 3 points. I'm not bothered about bantering anymore. I'm done with that. I just want to get on with the season.
Get it over with, really.
My eyes are already on summer already. Like obviously the FA Cup as well. Obviously that care about more than the league right now. But get a trophy, get a top 4. I'll take it. It's not what we'll necessarily want, but if we played this like 1 win and 13 and get an FA Cup, I'm taking it 100% trophy.
Yeah, 100%. But before we do shoot off, then, what would be your score prediction for Sunday?
Ooh. See, look, the thing is, to me, right, it was probably a draw because I think you guys right now at the moment aren't the best at the back right now. Like you haven't got seeing a few goals here and there at the moment, and I think a lot depends on Haaland's fit. If Haaland and Misha playing, that's a lot to worry about because Haaland will obviously be Van Dijk's property. Then we got Marmoush running around as well. And that's the Canate when he plays that. Who's fit right now for Liverpool?
It'd be Canate. Yeah,
Canate. Right. Yeah. I Gomez is injured, but obviously for the rest of the season apparently. But you know,
yeah.
I think for you guys, if Haaland does start, it'll be hard for you guys because obviously you've got Savigny on the right against Robertson. That'd be an interesting battle. And then you've got obviously, Doku or something. Or for me, I start Doku anyway. I wouldn't start Foden enough for me, but that's a whole different situation. But it's going to be all about the setups and who's fit really. Because obviously for us, we've got injuries right now. I think if Haaland doesn't play, I think you'll probably nick it, maybe 2-1. But I'll go 2-2. I'll go draw.
Well, I think based on statistics, I think draw is probably what's most likely going to happen because they always see it's either seeming to be a draw or Liverpool lose at the Etihad, and that always seems to be the case. But I don't know. I'm weirdly feeling confident because I just feel like Pep would get in his own head again to try and beat Liverpool to kind of make that statement. To go on, even though we've not had a great season, at least we've beat Liverpool. Because it is the biggest game of the. Normally, it is the biggest game of the season due to Liverpool and City going neck and neck and the quality levels. But I think even as Pep said, I think in his press conference today, he didn't really want to speak about that. So I think already he doesn't want to kind of draw that type of attention to the game, if that makes sense. But by the laws of averages, I think a draw would 100% make sense. But look, I want to win. I just want to get away from Arsenal, please. But of course, thank you very much, Luke, for coming on as well. Have you got any shows or anything in particular you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we've just obviously got more shows on the way. I think for me, the season's been just about sort of get the channel established. Obviously, I think next year there's a lot more plans next year for like more stuff like this. Obviously, going to on my channel at some point, but it's just getting it to a point where we're all happy. I've got another presenter now, so I've got 4 of us now, and just me now. So it's a good channel. So more going on, and it's not far down 1K now, about 60 odd now, 1K now. So obviously about a year of doing the channel. So. Yeah, it's good. It's been a very good. Obviously, this year's been a bit of a painful year in terms of City content, but for me, it's not about that. It's about giving your opinion, having a chat with other fans, obviously other clubs as well. It's a good community, and I'm enjoying it. And it's on the road to 1K now. Yeah, it's been good so far.
Absolutely brilliant. So, guys, there will be links in the video description down below. Please go and check out the lads over on there as well. Of course, obviously, go over, subscribe as well. But yeah, of course, let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. Let us know again who you guys think are going to win between Liverpool and Manchester City. Of course, because look, it is probably going to be again probably the most entertaining game of the season anyway. Of course, for everyone neutral anyway. But until next time, that will be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We'll see you guys later on. Ta-ra.